So yesterday was the first day in over 3 months that I didn't record a video. I didn't shoot a video. And I gotta be honest, trying to record this video now, there's a little bit more resistance than there was in those past 3 months. And the reason is because of the consistency. I was doing this consistently every single day, not missing a day no matter what. Now, I've only been uploading these videos for about 2 weeks now, but I've been recording for practice every single day for the last 3 months. And so that one day that I missed, to today, I could feel a difference. I can feel the fact that I'm like, there's a little bit more resistance to starting this. And that's just because of missing one day. Now just imagine if I let that carry over for 2 days or 3 days. And I said to myself, I don't really need to record because I'm gonna share something with you. I record these videos and sometimes I'll even do 2 or 3, which means I actually have a few videos stacked up so that I can upload. That means that I actually have a few videos ready to go, even if I don't shoot a video today. It's kind of like this safety net, so that way there's always a video ready to go. But because I didn't record yesterday, it's not like now I feel I gotta do this. I still have a few videos, but there's still more resistance to recording. And the reason is simply because I missed that day. Now, I've noticed this in multiple areas of my life. It's not just recording this video. This is just the one that I'm talking about right now because I could feel that resistance. But there's also been resistance in terms of other areas of my life where I started off being consistent. I was doing it every single day, and then all of a sudden I stopped. For whatever reason, sometimes it could be something like internal. Maybe I'm not feeling so well that day, so I had to stop. Like physically, I wasn't feeling good. Or something else that was completely outside of my control, and I just couldn't do it. Like I literally couldn't do it, right? And so that was the case yesterday. It wasn't because I didn't want to do it. It was just that there was something else that happened. I had some family over, and it just didn't end up working out. But I was sure to continue with it today. So even though I'm feeling that resistance right now as recording, I'm still doing it because I want to get back into the habit. I don't want to miss out because I know what happens when you miss out on one day. It'll lead to the next day, into the next day. And by the time you know it, an entire week could go by. And now you've pretty much lost all the consistency that you've built up, no matter how long you've been doing it. You could be doing it for 3 months like I have for whatever habit that you're doing. You could be doing it for an entire year. But the moment that you start to lose that consistency, you've pretty much lost everything. I don't mean because now you lose the gains that you've made, whether that's in the gym or whether that's recording a video now, like the skill and the practice is now gone. That's not what I'm saying. It's that now there's more resistance to get back in because you've missed out on the momentum. See, when you do a habit every single day, you build up this momentum. And that momentum is a snowball effect. It gets you to keep going. You don't even think about it anymore. You just kind of do it. But when you break that, whether because you decided to because you didn't feel like it or because something else happened, regardless, you lose that momentum. And when you lose that momentum, it's hard to get back in. But you have to push through that resistance to start up again. Now, it won't be as hard as the very first time, right? The very first time that I started recording these videos, there was a lot of resistance. And I wasn't very good at it. I've gotten better over time. I've been practicing. But just the fact that I had that one day off, the resistance came. I came here actually in a different spot than usual. I know it looks probably the same to you, but this is a different spot. And so that could be another reason why I'm feeling a little bit more resistance, because this is slightly different territory, right? It's not that different, but the main reason was I didn't want to shoot down there because that's where those wolves were, if you saw my previous video. So I wanted to kind of keep my distance from them. But the main thing is there was resistance there, and I didn't want to shoot this, but I'm doing it anyways. Whenever you feel resistance, you need to push through. You don't feel like doing it, but you know it's good for you. You got to take action. As long as you know what you're doing is right, you know that the habit that you set in place is right, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. You made a commitment to it, and now you stick with it no matter what. Now, there's going to be times where things come up, just like it did for me yesterday, and I wasn't able to continue this. That doesn't mean now I let that snowball negatively into the fact that now I use today as another rest day, and I just say, oh, well, I didn't do it yesterday and it wasn't a big deal. I just won't do it again today. See, that's what we like to do oftentimes. Maybe you skip a workout, maybe you eat a cheat meal, and then all of a sudden that turns into 2 days. What's the big deal? I'll just do that for 2 days. Maybe, you know what, I'll do it for the whole weekend. Monday comes around, you say, I should be getting back on track, but I mean, you know, I really enjoyed having those cheat meals. I really enjoyed having those rest days. Maybe I'll stop. Like, why do I really need to do this habit every single day? You see, we start to cope. We start to see these things as, that's not as important as it was at one time. The moment that you start to say those things to yourself, just recognize what that actually is. Those are just excuses that you're making for yourself, and they're not helpful. They're not going to keep you on track. Recognize that those things can completely throw you off. Now, another thing that I want you to recognize, because this happened to me so many times, is once I build up this consistency and I got myself going, I'm taking action every single day, those moments that those things happen, you see them differently. What do I mean? Basically, you start to see them as more, it's not as important. And when you start to do that, you start to see them as, it's so insignificant, it won't matter. But you see, it's not like one day to the next something will matter. It's more the long period of it. The more that these habits stack in a positive way, meaning you do it every single day, the more you grow. But the more that you stop doing it, the more that you're actually preventing your growth. If I were to just stop recording these videos and put a whole pause on my growth in practicing and shooting these videos, getting better every day, growing my channel, I wouldn't be making progress. Same thing in the gym. If you just stop and you don't continue, even after you've had that period where, you know, it wasn't able, you weren't able to continue, just like I had yesterday. Well, now that's how you actually end up having failure, because it means that you're allowing it to carry over to the point where you no longer are continuing. The moment that you stop growing, that's what's failure. And so if you stop your habits that you already set in place because it gets a little bit hard and you had something prevent you from doing it one day, don't allow that to carry over to the next day. Get back on track. Yes, it's going to be harder than it was previously. You lost the momentum. That's okay. Just push through that resistance and get back on track as fast as you can. If you have to go 2 days, you need to push even harder that next day. So get back on track as soon as possible, and you'll start to see that you'll continue making that growth. If you don't do that, you're going to fall off track, and that's the fastest way to start getting yourself into a rut, and you don't want that, because that's a whole nother topic on how to get out of it. Prevent the rut before it even happens, and you do that by getting back on track with the habits that you already set in place. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.